A former University of Alabama student has returned to the capstone to show off his art. Micah Craft is here to tell me more. Micah, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
That's a great name for an artist, too, Micah Craft.
It's kind of different, so
it just goes right along with it. Tell us a little bit about your art.
Well, the stuff on the exhibit now is pretty much the work I've been doing for the past 3 years at the university, and I've been keeping with this like really abstract theme that has a lot to do with music because I'm also a musician, and so just being a guitarist and a musician and an artist is kind of like developed simultaneously. So it's been an experience. It's been
One just sort of feeds into the other.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crossover and inspiration, you know, going back and forth, that type of thing. But
well, you were nice enough to send me some examples of your art, and we can just go ahead and put one up on the screen right now. Now, this doesn't look abstract at all to me. And
no,
you mentioned this was a commission, right?
Yes, I've been doing like portraits by commissions for the past couple of years, and basically I take a photograph of whoever, like a family member, and just render it in pencil, and I try to capture real likeness, but also, you know, there's got to be something more creative and subtle about it too. So
that is fantastic. Yeah. And that's pencils?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, just on art paper, I'm assuming?
Yes.
All right, wow, that is great. Now, this is more the medium that you're used to working in, correct?
Yes, this piece is in the show, actually, and it's cropped out a little bit, but this is the stuff I really enjoy doing. It's just, it starts as like an improvisation, you know, with the materials. It may start as a drawing, or I may paint a certain shape or form on there, and it just kind of develops, and it's got a lot to do with experimentation and improvisation and stuff like that.
I like the colors in this. That red's very bold compared to everything else that's happening. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about when you were going to school and you were studying your craft. What drew you to pencils and drawing specifically, as opposed to paints and maybe using canvases and such?
Yeah, well, I mean, drawing is much more deliberate, and you can kind of, you know, when you paint, it's much more open, and a lot of things can happen that you may not intend to. But kind of with drawing, you can always come back and make sense of certain things, of certain elements within a piece.
Now, this piece is one of them that's in your exhibit, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little about it.
It's actually a smaller drawing. It's much smaller compared to some of the other ones, but all of the media is dry media. There's no real wet media except for some of the white. But
and this is pencils again, correct?
Charcoal, graphite, pencil, pastel, stuff like that.
And I think we've got one more, maybe. Is that right? There we go.
Yeah. This is actually oil paint. It's a couple of years old, but it's got a lot more color. It's much more of a kind of a scattered composition, but a lot of people have liked this one, so that's good.
Very visually interesting. And I guess this is one, too, to where when you're sitting here looking at it, you can just sort of go ahead and transpose your own ideas of what may be happening. Why, jump back to that last one really quickly, because to me, and this is just me looking at it, that looks like a face right in the middle.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen a lot of stuff in this one, which that's kind of exciting. It's always interesting
to hear what people say.
Yeah, what people notice.
Absolutely. That's the fun with abstract art. And I believe we've got one more. We're running low on time, but I want you to tell us about it really quickly, too. Eventually. There we go. That's it.
This is one on the show. I think it's one of the better ones, and it's charcoal and acrylic, and I like this one a lot. It's one of my later pieces, and all of the pieces actually in the Ferguson Center Gallery are for sale right now.
There you are.
So,
all right, super.
Feel free to go check it out.
Yes, sir. Micah, thank you so much for being with us today. You can catch Micah's exhibit, Tension and Release, at the Ferguson Art Center during their normal operating hours. You can find out more about Micah and his art on Facebook. Just search for Micah Craft.